The camera cuts backstage, deep in the arena, where Roman Reigns is walking slowly through the hallway, the WWE Championship resting heavily on his shoulder. Paul Heyman is not with him tonight. This is deliberate. This is personal. Roman's expression is calm, but his eyes tell a different story. This isn't a man enjoying power, this is a man deciding how to use it. Roman stops near a production crate, turns slightly toward the camera, and adjusts the title on his shoulder like it belongs there forever. Then footsteps echo. CM Punk steps into frame from one side, arms crossed, staring straight at Roman Reigns. No smile, no jokes, just that familiar, defiant look that has never bowed to anyone. Roman turns slowly, already knowing who it is. Punk breaks the silence first. So this is where decisions get made now. Punk says, not in the ring, not in front of the people, but back here, where you can't hide behind pyro. Roman smirks. I don't hide, Roman replies calmly. I wait. Punk steps closer. You won the Royal Rumble, Punk continues. Congratulations. You earned the right to point. You earned the right to choose. He taps the WWE Championship lightly with his finger. So choose. Roman doesn't answer immediately. He looks Punk up and down, like he's measuring history itself. You talk like this is about you, Roman says. Like WrestleMania revolves around your comeback story. Punk scoffs. No, WrestleMania revolves around that, he says, pointing at the title. And I've never needed permission to fight for what matters. Before Roman can respond, a heavy presence enters from the other side. Drew McIntyre. No music, no theatrics, just anger and purpose. Drew steps into the frame, eyes locked on Roman, jaw clenched, the frustration of years written all over his face. So this is what it's come to, Drew growls. Standing around while Roman Reigns plays Kingmaker. Roman finally turns fully toward Drew. You sound impatient, Roman says coolly. Drew steps closer, towering, voice rising. I've carried this company on my back, Drew snaps. I fought through empty arenas, broken bodies, and stolen moments. I didn't leave, I didn't quit, and now you stand there with the power to decide my fate. He points directly at Roman's chest. You owe me an answer. Punk laughs quietly. Careful, Drew, Punk says. You might accidentally admit you need him. Drew turns his head slowly toward Punk. I don't need him, Drew fires back. I need that title. Roman raises a hand slightly, not to stop them, but to control the room. This is exactly why I won the Royal Rumble, Roman says. Look at you two, desperate, hungry, angry. He steps between them just enough to command space. One of you wants redemption, Roman says, looking at Drew. The other wants relevance, he adds, turning to Punk. Punk's eyes narrow. Drew clenches his fists. You think you're above this, Punk says quietly. But every champion gets remembered by who finally exposed them. Drew steps forward again. And every king falls when he underestimates the wrong man, Drew adds. The tension is unbearable. 3 men, 1 title, 1 decision. Roman exhales slowly, then smiles. You both want an answer, Roman says. But here's the truth. He leans in, voice low, dangerous. I don't choose based on pressure. Roman straightens up. I choose based on which victory lasts longer. He adjusts the WWE Championship one final time and looks from Punk to Drew, letting the silence torture them. And right now, Roman says, turning away slightly, I haven't decided which one of you deserves to lose at WrestleMania. Roman walks off down the hallway, leaving Punk and Drew standing there, staring after him, both realizing the same thing. This isn't about who deserves the match. It's about who survives the choice. Roman's footsteps fade down the hallway, the echo of his boots disappearing around the corner. The camera doesn't follow him. It stays right there. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Still, silent, tense. For a long moment, neither man speaks. Drew is breathing heavy, chest rising and falling, jaw tight like he's grinding his teeth to dust. Punk finally breaks the silence with a slow clap, soft, sarcastic. Well, Punk says, nodding. Congratulations. You just let Roman Reigns walk away with everything. Drew turns slowly toward him, eyes blazing. Don't start, Drew growls. This isn't about you and your little comeback speeches. Punk steps closer, unbothered. You're right, Punk says. It's about WrestleMania, and right now, he's playing you. Drew scoffs. I don't get played. Punk tilts his head. You sure? Because from where I'm standing, you just begged for a choice. That does it. Drew takes one aggressive step forward, towering over Punk, their faces inches apart. I earned my shot, Drew snaps. I didn't disappear for years and come back demanding opportunities. Punk doesn't back up, not an inch. I never demand, Punk replies calmly. I force people to face me. The tension is razor sharp. One wrong word and it explodes. Drew exhales through his nose, trying to steady himself. You think this is personal? Drew says. This is survival. I carried this company when the lights were off. I carried that title when nobody was watching. He points down the hallway Roman walked through. And now he gets to decide if it mattered. Punk's expression hardens. That's the funny thing about Roman, Punk says. He only respects two things, fear and inevitability. Drew narrows his eyes. Which one are you? Punk smirks slightly. I'm the problem he can't avoid. Drew shakes his head. You're a distraction. Punk steps even closer, lowering his voice. No, Punk says. I'm the reason his decision keeps him up at night. The two men lock eyes, neither blinking, both realizing something uncomfortable. Roman isn't afraid of either of them alone. But together, that's chaos. Drew straightens up. He thinks delaying the choice gives him control, Drew says. He's wrong. Punk nods slowly. Then we make it impossible for him to hide. Drew looks at Punk, conflicted, but resolute. One way or another, Drew says, he's choosing. Punk's eyes flick briefly toward the WrestleMania sign hanging in the distance. And whoever he chooses, Punk replies, doesn't walk out the same. The camera lingers on their faces, two challengers, united only by ambition, separated by destiny. Somewhere down the hallway, Roman Reigns smiles. Because the longer he waits, the more dangerous the choice becomes. The silence between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre stretches, thick and uncomfortable. Whatever temporary understanding existed between them dissolves the longer Roman's absence hangs in the air. Drew finally turns away first, pacing a few steps, running a hand through his hair like he's trying to burn the frustration out of his own skull. He thinks this tears us apart, Drew mutters. That we'll turn on each other while he sits back and waits. Punk watches him carefully. That's exactly what he wants, Punk says. Because as long as we're standing here arguing, he stays untouchable. Drew stops pacing and faces Punk again. So what? Drew snaps. We wait. We beg him next week. The week after. Punk shakes his head. No, we let him think he's won. Drew frowns. That doesn't sound like a plan. Punk smirks. It is when the man making the choice realizes there isn't one. Before Drew can respond, the camera cuts. Roman Reigns. Again. He's further down the corridor now, alone, the WWE Championship still on his shoulder. He stops, slowly turns toward another camera positioned ahead of him. Roman looks calm, almost amused. You see what they don't, Roman says quietly. They think WrestleMania is about bravery. About stepping up. He adjusts the title. It's about control. Roman takes a breath, then continues walking, his voice still carrying. They want me to choose between them, Roman says. They want clarity. They want certainty. Roman stops one final time and looks directly into the camera. But here's the truth. A slow, confident smile spreads across his face. I didn't win the Royal Rumble to make their dreams easier. The camera cuts back to Punk and Drew watching a monitor nearby, Roman's words echoing through the hallway speakers. I didn't choose CM Punk, Roman's voice continues. Punk's jaw tightens. I didn't choose Drew McIntyre. Drew clenches his fists. Roman's voice lowers, final and absolute. And I'm not choosing tonight. The screen goes black. Back in the hallway, Punk exhales slowly, almost laughing to himself. Smart, Punk says. Cowardly, but smart. Drew stares at the screen, eyes burning. Then this doesn't end tonight, Drew growls. Punk nods. No, he says. It just started. The camera pulls back, leaving both men standing there, unresolved, unsatisfied, and dangerous, while somewhere in the arena, Roman Reigns walks on with the WWE Championship, untouched, unchallenged, and completely in control.